questions because I'm not going to give you any cool answers if you do.
Why?
I don't know.
I know I got people that get like scared shitless to come on because they're like, oh, what are you gonna ask?
Well, because I know a lot of secrets, so it's like, do I tell? Do I not tell? Like Jermaine is so mad at me right now. I better turn this down.
This is all recorded, by the way.
Jermaine gets right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. She'll like last night. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, she.
Heavy as the crown with.
And being the first mom.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what's it like being the mother to our exalted ruler?
It's not easy. But I carry the burden.
Do you?
All by myself.
For the community?
Yeah, I do. You'll never get her in here.
I've been trying forever. She's such a chicken shit.
If I do this well, and this comes off well, I have a lot of power, so.
Over her?
I do.
I'm going to clip that.
I do. She knows it, because we're actually best friends.
She's doing a great job. She
works hard at it.
I know she does.
People don't realize how much work there is behind the scenes. They just see that, once a week at the podium, and that's not it. There's meetings, and there's so many facets to the city. This city is amazing. I'm glad I live here.
Agreed.
I'm glad I live here because you can do just about anything here if you are artsy, energetic. If you have ideas, stamina, you can do anything here, really. Like, look what you've done,
This is pretty
easy. Who'd have
easy.
thought? No, who'd have thought?
I mean, honestly, I've said this before. I would have never thought. I mean...
And now it's an institution.
I'm having a lot of fun with it.
And it shows. Because this is not your personality. Because I do know the other side of you, the quiet, shy little James.
That's 100% me.
Yeah.
This is easy. It's just me and you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's...
And
I don't like being around people.
Are you recording this right now?
Yeah. You can say whatever you want.
No, I can't.
Sure you can.
No, I can't.
Why not?
No, I can't.
See?
This one's about the Vogue. This one's about the
Well, no, wait, a little. A little.
Actually, okay.
So, I want to get to know you a little bit more. That's kind of part of this. I mean,
Okay.
You moved here from Grand Rapids?
Yep.
Is that where you're from?
Yes.
So what brought you here?
My mother was born and raised here. And when she passed away, I decided to come here for a weekend. And I said, someday I think I'll live here because I really like the city. I've been here my whole life. And then I came up on a weekend because Judy Ball said, your mother already made arrangements because every summer we came, you have to come. So Jermaine, Monica, Jackson was a baby, and my two nieces, Jacqueline and Colleen, we came up here.
This episode is brought to you by the Outsider of Manistee, located at 457 River Street. This place is kind of rad. I really enjoy it. It opened up late summer, and I enjoyed many lunches from them. Quick, you're in and out. The vibe there is super rad. It's very high vibe for sure. They got a neat little pinball room for the kids and for the adults. Don't be scared. You can play. They're rotating those pinball machines in and out. They've got a shitload of them. I don't know how many exactly they have, but I know it's a lot. The food is great. The atmosphere is, I can't say it enough how cool it is. This outdoor heated patio area where you can enjoy your lunch picnic style outside. They do encourage you to hit the road and picnic around Manistee. They have maps for that. I could go on and on. The place is really cool, and I really dig the concept. So big shout out to them. Thanks for sponsoring the podcast. But one of the things I wanted to talk about quickly is they have a holiday market coming up for our Old Christmas weekend here in Manistee. And that's going to kick off on November 30th and go through the 3rd, which is our Sleigh Bell Night parade here in Manistee. And then it's going to kick off again December 8th through the 9th. The cool thing about this is they're going to have live caroling, acoustic holiday music. You're going to be able to get photos with the Grinch, and their pinball room is going to be decked out all holiday style. Food, so out in the holiday market area, you're going to be able to get hot dogs, hand pies, kettle corn, hot chocolate. They're going to have the fire pits going, which is sick, by the way. I can't say enough how awesome that is to be able to just go down there and hang out by the fire pit and make some s'mores. Yeah, they're going to have that all set up for you down there. They're also going to be selling Christmas trees, wreaths, ornaments, and other items. So check it out. This episode is brought to you by Hampton Inn and Suites of Manistee. Listen, folks, The holiday season is just around the corner. And located on beautiful Lake Michigan is the new Hampton Inn and Suites. They can design a custom dining experience for your next event, and with the Hampton Inn and Suites, your social event, business conference, wedding, or holiday gathering is sure to be one to remember. Hey, we're getting into that freezing season, if you know what I mean. And if you're the kind of person that gets tired of the cold, then head on over to the Hampton Inn and Suites for a dip in their heated pool and hot tub. Skinny dipping is not encouraged. Listen, they offer a free breakfast and an on-site restaurant that's sure to satisfy the entire family. Now offering staycation discounts. Reserve your room today by calling 231-299-1096. That's 231-299-1096. This episode is brought to you by Chapo's Northside Bar. You ever say to yourself, man, I want to get my hands on the best burger that Manistee has to offer. And maybe your partner, your dining companion, is really into wings. Well, guess what? Chapo's Northside Bar was voted best burger and best wings in Manistee. Yeah, best of both worlds. A little beef and a little chicken. Folks, they have 7 TVs, and every single one of them is going to have a sporting event on it. This place is rad. You need to come and check it out. Chapo's Northside Bar is a proud sponsor of the Manistee Local Podcast. I'm proud to have them on the podcast. And again, if you're looking for the best burger and wings in town, then look no further than Chapo's Northside Bar. Check.
I went to go get donuts. I was staying at the Riverside. Going down First Street, some reason turned down Oak Street, saw this house, and I bought this house. Had to go home and tell my husband I went shopping. He goes, oh, what's new? What'd you buy? Oh, I bought a house. But I ran a mortgage company, so it was pretty easy. So that's how that all came.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
20 years ago.
Oh.
So then Monica and her husband moved up here. He had never been here before, fell in love with it, started his business. Monica had 3 more children after that. And then Jermaine moved up and my son moved up. My nieces lived here. So my nieces that I took in, and so the whole family lives here.
Yeah, I feel like you guys have been here forever.
Well,
you know, the more and more I talk to Jermaine or any of them, I'm like, I just feel like you guys have always been here.
Well, I've always been here. My grandmother tried to give me 2 houses when she was dying, and I said, this is my quote, Grandma, you can burn them to the ground. I'm never going back to Manistee. I guess I'd rather go spend a fortune and buy a house than take the 2 that she gave me. So
yeah.
That's how that came about.
She never wanted to come back, but yet you came back.
But I came back. There's something, you know, if you talk to people.
I mean, there's definitely something about Manistee.
That born and raised here.
Yeah.
They go out and think it's better out there.
Come back.
They come back. Jeff Peffley's one of them. He's my cousin. And he's, you know, he was in Grand Rapids. He went to college and everything. He loves it here. And he's an establishment, you know. He's
GQ. Mm-hmm. He's GQ.
Yeah. We've all said that. I think it's his personality.
Yeah,
you know?
he's a
just
good
a
show.
doll.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of, you know, when I talk about being from here or just doing daily things here, and I know a lot of people, but it's still, I get such a kick out of running into somebody, you know, which is constant. You know, or if you need something, there's somebody that can help you right away. I mean, in my phone, I mean, I've got a guy for just about everything. Or gal.
Yeah, I have quite a bit too, I have to say. I've been lucky. I've been so lucky because I came from a profit world and then thrown 10 years ago by Travis Alden in the nonprofit world.
Shout out to Travis, by the way.
God.
I miss him.
I miss him
He's
so
a good
much.
shit. He's a really good guy.
I still reach out when I'm not sure about something.
Yeah.
I go, Travis, you
Come
know,
back.
come back, or give me some advice.
Stalk
or,
him on LinkedIn a little bit.
Yeah, he's done very
He's
well.
doing very well.
And he's
doing
still
very well.
helping. You know, we won an award at the Vogue, a big award, and I was privileged to go receive it. And it was what building or entity did the most to a small community. And I mean, we're talking Kalamazoo, Holland, over by Detroit. We were up against all these, and I just sat in the audience going, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. And the Vogue Theater won that award. And Travis was sitting across from me with his other entry that he was actually working on at the time, but he's the one that submitted us. and we won that award. It's a beautiful. It's just a brick, but it symbolizes one brick can change a community, which is true. And I look at the Vogue that way. I've been there 10 years, and it's sometimes it seems longer, but then sometimes it seems like yesterday. We've done so many things there. I mean, it's to me, it's a staple of the street. I don't know about you, but
I grew up in the Vogue. My mom took me to my first movie there was Superman 2. Pretty old.
Boy, you're old.
In the balcony, right?
Oh, now you're really old.
I
yes,
missed the balconies.
Yes. Everybody says that.
Yeah, the balcony was, and I probably sat in it a handful of times, right? But
yeah.
it was just cool, a cool little added feature.
Because it was the Vogue Theater to me, and everything I work on there is because you go to the movies to forget about the outside world. Mm-hmm. You want to be entertained. You want to feel good. You want to cry. You want an emotion. So that's why you go to the movies. You don't go to the movies for stress and tension and all that. You go to be entertained, either feel good, cry, but there's an emotion. I can't tell you how many movies I've stood out there and watched people come out with tissues. And then the very next movie, maybe people coming out just still laughing.
Yeah.
And my biggest, and I hope I don't cry because this still gets me. When we first opened, we decided that it was going to be 25-cent movies on Saturday morning because that's what it cost to go to the movies in 1938. That tradition is carried on for 10 years. It's not a cheap tradition because we have to pay for those movies, and it's hundreds of dollars. But that's the commitment we made to the community. And even today, 2023, think about this. There's little children that still come in, and this is their first time going to the movies because their parents can have a $10 bill, buy the tickets, buy the popcorn, buy anything that, candy, and still have an absolutely amazing time. But to watch those little kids so excited, and you're thinking, this is the first time you've ever been to the movies, that you and I can't fathom that, but that's exactly what we see all the time there.
Yeah, I have stories. I remember watching the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie there when I was a kid, and I was probably, I don't know, maybe 12. I could be wrong on that, but I was definitely not a teenager yet. And the place was packed. We were standing in the aisleways. There was no place to sit, and they let us all come in. I don't think the theater's been that packed since then.
Well, you try to keep that down. The fire code, the fire marshal's watching.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And he was a baby back then, too.
Yeah.
But
he was probably there.
Yeah. But, it was incredible. All the kids in there and their parents, and it was mostly kids.
Yeah.
That when it shut down, that was pretty sad.
It was sad, and it was
Why
depressing.
did it shut down?
I'm not.
Can you speak to that, or do you know why?
I really don't know the whole gist of that. It's just that I do know when they went to the grassroots started to reopen it. I wish Travis Alden was here because he was the one digging the holes. Where the big theater is, all that junk had to be taken out. The last time we were open, it was snowing through the roof, which there's a lot coming through. It's not just, that ceiling is just not it. There was so much to be brought back. What is cool about the Vogue Theater, and I've made money on this or got donations, was how clean it is. And the historical features that we do have, we still have. Like the floor is original. The rounded glass at the ticket booth is original. I was upstairs and there's doors, the original front doors. So I took those off. Well, I had somebody take them off because these doors, 3 people have to pick them up. That's how heavy they are. Just one door. They're so plate glass. We got the handles and we took them to Rick Link. He redid them for me, as he does everything for me free. Did those handles, and we're going to have a dedication. They'll be on the doors to the theater inside.
Oh, nice.
And those are from 1938. And the detail, if you ever get to look at, for one, they're heavy. But to the detail, we don't make stuff like that anymore. It is stunning. But I can't wait to get those up. The ticket taker, that's original.
Oh, really?
Rick Link redid that. There is a popcorn machine. It's a portable popcorn machine. That's not original, but we figured that's about 40 to 50 years old. And he refurbished that for us, not to work, but just for donations, and cleaned it up. So everything matches. It's gorgeous. There's, as you heard, we're working on an elevator.
I did not hear that.
Oh, we are working on an elevator campaign because we really can't do anything without the elevator. And
What do you mean?
like if we wanted to do something upstairs,
Okay.
not sure what yet or what's going to happen, but we can't do it without the elevator. I mean, that's.
Oh, I feel you.
That's.
If you're gonna, I got it.
It's going to go from the basement to upstairs where I do the decorating and all the junk's up there.
It'll be good for you.
Oh, it's going to be. I turned 69 the other day, and I was like, these steps are killing me. I mean, I've been running up and down them for 10 years. I didn't notice, but when you're carrying, moving, the staff is moving beer,
Sure.
candy, all that stuff in the basement, that has to be hauled up, water, cases of stuff up and down, up and down.
I mean,
So that'll be a great thing.
That's no cheap undertaking.
No. And, our volunteers at the Vogue, I mean, if you could do a whole segment on just the volunteers.
Oh, I'm sure it'd probably be like a scene out of The Office.
It-
I mean,
Oh, my.
sometimes.
We've had them dating. Most of them are retired. Not all, but most.
Yeah.
But they date. They've become good friends. There's these groups that have coffee. There's the Saturday morning group that right after Saturday morning load-ins and everything, they go and have coffee. It's almost a city in a city because everything that goes on in there is kind of unique. And people from all walks of life. I mean, we have lawyers, we have a lot of teachers, factory workers, housewives. It's just a conglomerate of people that have come together for one purpose, and that is the Vogue Theater. And I like to sit back and watch because they came from all over the country. They're not just from Michigan or
Sure.
Manistee. They're San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Florida, Arizona. And they come here, and the first thing they see is, I'm kind of proud of Manistee Ambassadors if they're on Facebook, and they say, well, where can we go volunteer? Where can we, find friends or whatever? Shoot them right over there, and the next thing I know, I'm meeting them inside there.
Now, did you start that page?
Yeah.
And what got you to start that page?
It was, the Vogue was doing a dinner.
I'll put the Manistee Ambassadors page in the show notes here too, and the link to
Okay.
it, so that people can check it out if they're not
We're
familiar
over
with
4,000 people. I'm so proud of it.
it. You should be.
It's almost 7 years old. It'll be 7 in February. And we were doing a dinner at the Vogue, and I found that, okay, there was something else going on that weekend and something else over here, but nobody knew this. There was no place to go, oh, I didn't know you were doing that, because then I wouldn't have done this because you're taken away from me. And so it was a group that started, and they named it, and then they just said, it's yours. We don't understand this. And it is harder to do it with more than one person because you don't know what's being posted.
Yeah.
So people do send me stuff now. That makes it nice. They send it in, and then I just approve it and send it through. But everything is approved because I want to make sure whatever goes on there is legit in the county of Manistee and is a reputable company or event, because it's just the thing
Yeah.
that
Yeah. You don't want any
I don't
wild shit on there.
and I don't allow the nastiness. The nastiness. If you do a nasty comment,
Blocked.
well, not yet.
You're out of here.
I want to, but you get an email from me
Oh.
or a message from me.
Sharply
Then
worded.
It is sharply worded. If you look at at the intro, it says, "Be nice or go away." There's enough of that out there.
Yeah.
Start your own Facebook page, not mine, not our. I consider it Manistee's now. Someday somebody will take it over. Ludington has come in a couple times and asked for me to start adding them. But it says Manistee Ambassadors.
Yeah.
It doesn't say Ludington, Mason. So I showed them how to start it, and they realized how hard it was.
To keep up with it, I mean, because I follow it pretty heavily, and I know. Well, I know how hard it is to continue to get the word out for anything.
Anything, yeah, you would think. But right now, it'll start up because of all the events. And throughout the season, it'll be plethora of stuff. And I feel bad, but then on the other hand, I can't pick you and not you. And,
Sure.
it's even. I pick people that are starting their own business, sweatshirt business, at home. I don't care. You're in Manistee, you have a legit business. You're starting up. I do Pampered Chef on there. I've done Avon on there. It doesn't matter if you have, a little tiny shop or, big store, or the casino sends me stuff. It doesn't matter. It's equal. It's Manistee.
The casino needs help advertising.
Yeah.
Can you talk about really how the Vogue the revitalization project started and like how did that start? How did the city take it over?
Well, the city
didn't take it over.
No,
How did the nonprofit get involved in it?
I wasn't in the very grassroots of this, but it was fundraising. It was a bunch of people got together, and it was bankers, lawyers. I mean, it was people of means and expertise of how to do this. And it was always going to be a nonprofit. So they started it. The goal was to be open 2013 of Sleigh Bell. And it was. Travis called me in and asked me that's how I got roped in. Will you help host this? Because you know these people and you can do this. I walked into drywall dust. Half the counter wasn't even done. We didn't have the small theater. I think the bathrooms were done because that was always what everybody talked about. Because the flower shop, for 10 years, every week there's fresh flowers in that bathroom. And that has made us money because Consumers Power, for example, I called them up to advertise in this booklet that in 1938 they had this beautiful book of when they were opening. And I wanted to reprint the book for 5 years. And I called Consumers Power and they said, oh, we don't do advertising. And I go, well, that's funny because I'm looking at your ad in this book. It's a whole page. She goes,
excuse me.
Well, when was that? Well, it's, 1938, but that is beside the point. You still did it. She goes, just a minute, let me refer you to our VP. So I go to the VP. She goes, wait a minute, the Vogue Theater in Manistee? I go, yeah. With the flowers in the bathroom? I said, yeah. How much do you need? Send us a check.
Because the bathroom didn't smell like poo?
Yes, yes. And it has fresh flowers, And that's a project every day that when volunteers come in, and it's usually up to the usher, make sure those bathrooms are cleaned and stocked. That's before you start your shift. And it just happens.
That's a
now.
cool story.
It is a cool story because you never know who's going to walk through your door. And I say that all the time. You never know who's going to walk through that door. And you don't want to just say, oh, well, he's just a customer buying a ticket. Everybody size you up. They're all looking. They're all excited. And that's the whole magic of it, For Sleigh Bell Saturday this year is our 10th anniversary. We're having the movie Grinch, 2018 version. And I can't solidify yet, but I'm almost 100% positive I have Grinch coming in. Santa's going to be there at 9:30. We're doing an open house. We're just reliving what we do best. Just show us off. I've done 5 weddings there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've done many, many birthday parties. I don't even know how many. Jackson and Sullivan, my grandsons, were our first. They were the guinea pigs because we didn't know how to do it. So they were the first, and then the birthday parties just rolled in, and then the school trips started rolling in, and then one day this lady came to me and said, I want to get married in a movie theater. Okay, let's do it. And we've got 5 down now, and I'm talking to somebody for next year.
Hey, that's really cool.
It is. If they pick a movie theme or they do the slideshow, some of them go all crazy. A couple from Chicago come every year. They come in October. They were married 4 years ago. It was before COVID, just before that fiasco. They were walking down the street. It was an older couple, second marriage, both widowed. And they popped in and they said, wouldn't it be cool to get married in a place like this? And I happened to be there. Got the book out. What day do you want? And they had all their people come from Chicago, stay at the Ramsdale Inn. We had the dinner and the rehearsal, everything there. They got married at the Vogue. What they did on their invitations, in lieu of gifts, donations to the Vogue Theater.
Ah, very cool.
And every year they come in and donate for their anniversary. And they're from Chicago. They've never even been to Manistee before.
Yeah.
Until that day, they were just off the beaten path. So you never know who's going to walk in your store, you know?
This is true. How's the Vogue run? I mean...
Good question. No, I'm saying...
Yeah, but, like, is it run like a business?
It is a business.
Okay.
It is a board run, an active board, which means I have a role, which is community relations and events coordinating, and then we have another board member that does, or two board members that handle personnel. We have another one that's actually a retired attorney, and he watches all of that. We have a banker that watches our money and grants and all that stuff out there. We have another one that comes in and actually physically does stuff, repairs and make sure all the, everything's done correctly, because those lenses on the video, or, the projectors and stuff like that, that is extremely expensive. You'd be blown to know what those cost. So everything, it runs like a machine. We do have a staff. The staff is in charge of certain things. We have 2 full-timers that are the managers, and then we have 3 part-timers. And they all each have a role, and probably becoming more of a role.
Now, are you going... Now, there hasn't been a replacement for Sarah.
No.
Is that not...
Well, Sarah is now Corey and Kelsey. We've
Right.
split it because it is an actual 2-step process. Booking movies, checking that, coordinating all that is almost a full-time job with the booker. And people don't realize we don't always get to pick the movies we show. We are guided by a person that makes the decisions for us in LA. And the booker says, this is your demographics. This is what would be good. There's contracts, which is all the stuff that I've learned over the years. If you get a movie and people go, why are you having this movie for 3 weeks? It's terrible. Hey, I'm with you. But I have a contract. We can't, change every contract. We can ask for forgiveness, but we can't do it all the time. That's why when a movie comes in and it's only 1 week and this next one's 3 weeks, that
Right.
was the contract. And sometimes it is difficult, If you get a Meryl Streep or Bradley Cooper, you hope you have it 3 weeks, because that's our demographics. They love those
Really?
two. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And it is hard to say this movie's going to do well. It is really...
Like Barbie?
Yeah, Barbie.
That movie crushed, did it not?
It did. It
I
did.
mean, you
But
guys
it
were-
still wasn't our all-time.
What was your all-time? Titanic.
Nope.
Dances with Wolves.
No. It was... God, which one was it?
Avatar.
Nope. Oh, shoot. I think it was... Not Star Trek. Star Wars. Star Wars
yeah.
was... It was Star Wars.
That episode 1.
Yes.
I remember standing outside with Trent when that, and we were like, "How come we can't go in?"
Yeah.
There were so many people in line.
There were so many people. It was... those are fun, though. Those are... because everybody's excited.
Yeah.
And I am always... When we're going to sell out like that, they pull me in to move the seats. I've been doing that for 10 years.
Move the seats.
Oh, if there's a... make sure everybody gets a seat. So
Oh,
you're moving them in.
I
You're
get ya.
moving people over. There was a time Tony Trucks was doing SEAL Team. And CBS actually called me, because they called the Vogue and they gave my number. And this lady calls and she says, I'm so-and-so with SEAL Team, or with CBS. And I'm like, CBS is actually calling me, right? Mm-hmm. And she keeps talking, and I'm thinking, this might be legitimate. But I was busy. So I said, can I call you back? I'm really busy. So I called her back. She said, we want to do a premiere at the Vogue. We'll stream it in for SEAL Team. And Tony's going to be there. And this was off the charts for us. This was something new. And There was over 300 people there, and we can only see almost two. But they were there
Call
to
the fire
see
marshal.
her. Oh, I know. Well, he was there because I was like, this is a little nerve-wracking. This is a
Sure.
lot of people. And CBS was streaming it. CBS was also streaming the actors talking to us. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. So that's the stuff we can do, you know.
Well, how's the Vogue doing
Excellent.
financially?
Excellent. Yep.
And you're going to stay true to the keeping everything as cheap as possible?
Absolutely. It's hard. I'm not going to lie, it is hard.
I'm an
but
advocate for
that's-
higher prices, but I've been that way for a while. I mean, the
But-
prices are, I mean, I wrote
Yeah.
them down because I was like, are they really that cheap? I mean, $8 for me to go see a movie.
Yep.
I mean, you're a lot cheaper than,
A lot. We hear it at least every day.
I think
know.
you can do $10 tickets and nobody's
Yeah.
going to complain.
They won't complain, but our commitment is to the community. And the community is what kept us open. The community is what supports us. So I could advocate to raise the prices and the tickets and everything, but at what cost? You know, I'd rather have a family of four come in and be able to afford a decent time, you know. And we can still make money on what we do, because the back of the scene is what I do, is, you know, raising the money or spring break. Let me give you spring break.
Give me spring break.
Spring break is going to be 10 years this year or next year. Spring break is always the roughest for the Vogue Theater. Picking the movies, what are they going to cost us? Sometimes we do themes. It's a week of movies, free. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I got to find the money for that. So that's usually where I'm knocking on doors. You know, will you support us? Will you advertise us? Will you, you know, do this and that? And the community has always stepped right up, always, because there's a lot of kids that don't have anything to do on spring break, and adults, you know. And spring break has become a staple in Manistee, and but it is rough. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you have a lot of people all week, every movie, and the staff does an excellent job with that. The community does an excellent job with supporting us. Hopefully this year for the 10th run, I want to pull out some of the old things that we used to do, like bring cars down and characters and beach parties, and I want to bring it all kind of back together. Because during COVID, well, just before COVID, April 2019 or 2020, I guess it was, that was the most booked month we've ever had since we've been open. We were actually overbooked.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have stories like that. I mean, I was looking at numbers for like the Pier Run already in March and April. We had almost 300 people signed up 5 months ahead of time for that race. I mean, we were like, this is going to be incredible. We're going to have 1,000 people out here. We've never been able to achieve those kind of numbers again. It was just like, and I talked to other businesses. It was weird. It was like this tidal wave of all this great stuff getting ready to happen,
And then
nothing, you know. But
it was, the thing with that was COVID hit, and then I found out what the Vogue meant to the city of Manistee. Because I just went in and turned on the lights just to show that Manistee wasn't actually dead. So who was doing, you know, like shipping, online sales, people just driving up and down the street. I turned, the lights were on every day. And sometimes I come down in my pajamas because I forgot to turn the lights off at night. You know, at 1 a.m, I'm down there shutting the lights off. And you stand on that street, which I'm sure you have, after midnight, and like if the Vogue light is on and the street lights are on, it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It is, especially in the wintertime. So then COVID hit, and there couldn't be a sleigh bell. And I was just a little involved with sleigh bell at that time. And then I met with my partner on this project, Christina, and we're drinking. What can we do? Because I don't want to lose that momentum. I don't want to lose that feeling of Manistee. So with a couple bottles of wine, Manistee County Christmas was born. And that was almost a freak. It was, yeah, we'll do it this year. Maybe we can get some sponsors because we didn't have any money.
Yeah.
We're going to get prizes. We don't have any money. We did knock on some doors. We had 2 sponsors. Now I think there's 6. And it has become now a staple of the county because people at that time couldn't go in anywhere. You couldn't visit your friends or your family.
Right.
But you could decorate your house and people could drive by. And we had the sweetest story when they were picking up the signs. This old couple said, "We haven't decorated in over 20 years. 'Cause why? And you gave us a purpose to do it." And they did a phenomenal job, and they were in their 80s. I mean, it was gorgeous. So we had winners, we had money. Now that's the 3rd year on this one.
Nice.
And I see that continuing because it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's easy, but sometimes out of something bad, something good happens, which I do believe always.
I do too.
And people are part of that now. They're very competitive with us too, trust me, because we'll get pictures. Oh, look at my house, and we drive around, and we don't pick it. The people pick the winner. We don't pick the winner. It's public opinion. So, and I see the prizes going up over the years because the sponsors, I mean, the sign had 2 sponsors in the beginning. We didn't even have the money to make the signs. I mean, we were like, everything was on good
Well, that's
faith.
how all that stuff starts. You start with 0.
It was 0.
Then you work your way up from there. It takes a while.
It was started with a hangover. Is basically, that the wine was just
Must
a
have
little
been shitty
thing.
wine.
It was. It was like, hey, we couldn't go anywhere. We had to buy whatever we could find.
So what's new for the Vogue? What's coming up? How's it look in the next couple of years, 5 years? I mean,
5 years, still going to look the same as it is, because that's the hope. You'll see some new changes, I hope. Like you said, with the Pier Run, you had 300 people. The same thing at the Vogue. You used to turn on the lights, open the door, the movie's on, and they came. And they don't do that anymore. And that's concerning and a little nerve-wracking because some of these movies, it's a first run, it's going to start on Friday. We turn on the marquee, and it's already streaming. And that
sucks.
That's
rough.
Yeah. And Hollywood keeps saying,
but they are paying more to watch it online in the stream.
True, but the more brick and mortar stores are hurting. So maybe we have to be creative. Maybe we have to look at it. But I do think over the last 2 years, just gauging things, people want a reason to come to the movies, not just watch the movie anymore. They want an experience.
Yeah.
They want something. And the Vogue has always been good at that, pulling stuff out of the air. I don't know where we ever get these ideas, but I think we're going to start going more towards that again. Like Barbie. Barbie did very well. We didn't need to do anything, but we did. We built the Barbie house. We had the contest. We didn't have to, but that's why people came, because it's fun. They could stream it, but it was fun.
I did like the interactive aspect of what you guys did for Barbie. Mm-hmm. And I've often thought, and not just because you're coming on today, but I have thought a lot over the course of the last few years, especially when my son worked there. Mm-hmm. I don't, and maybe I'm blind to it, maybe I'm not seeing it, but I don't see a whole lot of advertising outside of social media for the Vogue.
It is.
I don't know if that's a budgetary thing or...
It's rough because it's such a quick trip. It's not like it's only there for a week.
Right.
And sometimes they don't release us until a couple days before. Like, yeah, you're really going to get it. Because that has happened before.
Because I don't understand a lot of the inner workings, but there was and I can't remember the movies, but I knew that there were going to be big movies. And Trent would say, we got a pre-release on this, and it's going to be on like a Thursday. And I'm like, oh, Christ, I'd like to come, but it's probably going to be jam-packed. And maybe it wasn't, and it should have been. And so I was always like, well, man, if you just got the word out a little early that the Vogue is going to have it before anybody else.
And that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Because I really, I've got a couple other things that I'm working on just for our 10th anniversary, which 10 years is not a big deal.
I think so.
But in the scheme of things...
In the nonprofit world, it is.
In the nonprofit world, we have survived.
Yeah.
And survived very well. We do have to look at some new ways of it, advertising or new ways of getting it out there and getting us out there. One of the things that we never did, and I wish we would have done more or do more, is toot our own horn.
Yeah.
Because people don't know what we do. They didn't know we do weddings. They don't know we do school trips. A lot of people still don't even know we serve beer and wine. We're going to bring back the date night. And it's like a bottle of champagne and all. And people, once again, it's a purpose I could sit in my living room and do that, but let's go to the movies and do that. It's some of the things it's the gimmicks. It's all a gimmick, but people like it, I don't want to sit in my living room and just watch this. I want a reason to go watch this. When I'm there, I have the opportunity to get in front of the crowd and say, how many people have never been here before? And I'll at least 20 to 30 hands.
I tell you what.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and I love it. I don't go enough. I probably go to 2 or 3 movies a year at the Vogue. And it's always with my kids because we like the same shit. We like watching, whatever, Star Wars, Transformers, stuff like that. I molded them into the creatures they are today.
Well,
but anyways,
explains a few things. 'Cause I did work with Trent. You forget.
I love going all the way to the absolute front row and sitting like this. And that's one of my favorite things to do. The opening, the Vogue opening, where you guys do the, I don't know what.
The prelogue.
Yeah. And they show the kids all
Yes.
excited watching it. That opening there always gets me. It's like, all right, I know I'm here. I'm not just saying this either. I love it. When I'm sitting there and that starts, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And we have small business partners, and they're on the screen. And we did one, I don't remember which movie it was, and I was standing in the back, and somebody said, that's my business. And I'm like, that I love. And we just did Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, James.
I can't imagine.
I'm going to work on bringing it back next year because it's a cult following.
Sure it is. Yeah.
And we had a couple people from Detroit, Grand Rapids, Traverse City, because nobody shows it anymore.
No.
And nobody plays it because you've got to have the props.
I feel like you played it a couple of years ago, too.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, because I remember Trent going, I went to this movie with a buddy thinking it was like a horror film.
And he had to get his newspaper out, and it was raining. And you have to have the props.
Yeah.
And I love to watch the cult followers come in, and they sit because they know where to sit. They know where to sit by the aisle because they got to jump up and do the dance. And then you have the new ones that have never seen this thinking it's a horror show.
Yeah.
Sitting there going,
what the hell's going on?
What is going on? And the old ones will teach them, get your newspaper up, hurry up.
Yeah.
And I've yet to have a really good picture of the newspapers. It is amazing. You just look, and it's just a sea of newspapers. Everybody's doing it. Another movie that we did that I was told wasn't going to do well, but I said, trust me. I went to the board, trust me. Deer Camp 86.
Oh, Deer Camp 86 is a great movie.
Deer Camp 86, because I told Harold, we'll bring it in. So they said, okay, one showing. And that sold out almost record pace, 186 seats, almost record. So then we went, and I talked to the staff again, and I said, we need to do this again, because we still had people banging on the doors. We sold out the next night, 186. We brought in Deer Camp beer just for this. We bought cases and cases. Sold out the second night. We had to substitute with the rest of the stuff that we have. The next night, I think we only did 152.
It's still pretty remarkable.
It's still pretty remarkable.
Especially for
Did
that
you see
movie.
it?
Yeah.
It's a bizarre movie.
It's pretty bizarre.
I'm meeting Harold next week, and we're going to talk about February, because I'd like to do February made in Manistee movies. People don't realize how many movies have been made here. There's a lot of them. So now I got to take it down to this,
Yeah.
Saturday mornings, I'd like to do Mickey Madsen.
What's that?
Mickey Madsen. It was something that Harold, that was one of his first rollouts. And I think there's 7 of them. And they were filmed at the beach. They're filmed at the ship. They're filmed, other places. Some of our kids are in this. The Mickey Madsen producer I met last year said he'd come back if I did this, and he would try to bring Mickey Madsen. So I'm working on that. And there's 7. I can only do 4, so I got to pick the best. But I think this is going to be fun because these kids now have kids. Bring them to the movies and go, look at mommy, look at daddy, look at grandpa. I think it's going to be fun.
Has there been any discussion? So when this revitalization was starting to take place years ago, I had heard, maybe it's something that I just thought in my head, but I thought I heard rumblings of maybe the Vogue would also do things like utilize the stage for music or comedy shows. Or
it doesn't. Way back with Xavier and I, we were dissecting things we were going to do, and I believe in stay in your lane. And I do the movies. I do the crazy stuff that I can do with the movies. You do the stage productions because you have the stage, you have the production. My stage is very small. So that was kind of the agreement we made was, and sometimes you have to watch that, like the Taylor Swift thing. I was on the fence with that when I heard it was coming in because it's kind of like the opera at the Ramsdale. Or is it a movie? And that was extremely confusing to some of the guests because they acted like they were at a concert.
I heard.
But it was a movie.
Yeah.
It was something totally different. But that one would have been us because it was an actual documentary movie, I guess. So, but people were confused. Is this a concert or is this a movie? And it was both. It was actually both. It was done very well. I'm not a Taylor Swift.
You're not a Swiftie?
Not a Swiftie. No. I appreciate everything she's done, and I'm looking at these little tiny girls.
Yeah.
And I see what they're looking at. She's poised. She's dressed. She's very conscious of her clientele. Mm-hmm. So it's comfortable. You can have a 5-year-old watching her.
Yeah.
And we've had 85-year-olds in there. So it was up against the wall dancing and everything. It was a concert. And then the other group sitting there, it was a movie. So
I think you could do comedy nights there. I think you could fill the place up. That's just my opinion.
I wish we had the space.
You have 200 seats.
I do have 200 seats, but then we have those movies booked in. See?
Well, what if you have a wedding?
A wedding? I do a wedding in between movies.
No kidding.
Yes. You have 59 minutes to do an entire wedding. And that doesn't sound like a lot, maybe, but when you're doing a wedding, that's a lot. It is. If you've got just a smaller.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, what do I do with all this time? But you hide the bride. We do everything that a wedding does. The only thing you can't do is have candles. That's the only
I'm just
thing.
looking for a venue to have some comedians come to town. My buddy Dylan and I have been arguing. We've been trying to get the Ramsdale to do something with it, too, that people just don't think it's viable, but I think it's huge.
Oh, I think it is.
Yeah.
What if I find you a venue? I have my feelers.
We need a venue, and we need people willing to but we'd like a business to do it.
Right.
We can help facilitate that kind of thing, but
Well, with the River Street merchants meetings that we have once a month, I was talking to somebody and I thought, what we're going to do? I don't know if you saw it. We're going to have a dinner club. Once a month.
I did see something.
Yeah. Not the meeting. This isn't a meeting. This is like you had a birthday. You had a grandchild. We have dinner. We just talk about us, not the businesses, just camaraderie on the street. Because the street isn't that big. I mean, when you think about it, let's all get together and know each other. And the more you know about your neighbors and your merchants across the street, even next to you, the more you can support each other and the more you actually like each other. Because it's not rumors, I don't like her because I've never met her, I'm fortunate I've been in almost every business hawking something, So I've met these people and I've gotten to know these people. And it's nice. It's nice to walk across the street and say, Doe, Indiana, hey, I'm having a bad day, and just sit there and go in the back and have a drink, or something. Yeah, just... It's nice to be able to just maybe vent or just see they're having a problem. During COVID, we had bags of popcorn downstairs, and that expires, believe it or not. Popcorn expires. So what are we going to do? So they were walking down the street, actually, and they just had the spice shop, and I said, hey, come in here. What if we bag this popcorn up with your salt and we start shipping it everywhere? We sold all that popcorn, and I made enough money to replenish when we could open.
That's fantastic.
And we still do it today, because
Yeah.
people still request popcorn kernels from the Vogue Theater.
Yeah, well, it tastes different. My mom loves it.
It is, I know there's the controversy of the butter.
What's the controversy of the butter?
Oh, some people wish we had real butter, but we did a taste test. And for one, how are you going to do real butter? Because it separates.
Yeah, I often wondered, like, when I'd be at other theaters and you're, like, pumping this butter in. Like,
It's not butter.
Julia.
It's not butter, because the butter real butter separates.
So that's like some
It's
science.
It's between what we serve and butter.
I'll take what you serve.
Yeah, ours is, it's
Was it like a salt?
it's just a salt seasoning, and it goes into that special. And if you ever have popcorn left over from your bucket or whatever, take it home and make caramel corn. It's the best caramel corn ever.
So I don't eat hardly any junk food. I don't drink soda or anything like that unless I go to the Vogue, and it's a big popcorn and 2 packs of M&Ms.
Oh, mixed together.
You
make
gotta
some?
put it in.
Yeah.
Come on, and a
I have
big
people do it with
Diet
milk
Coke.
duds. I have people do it with milk duds.
Oh, come on, it's gotta be M&Ms.
No, they do milk duds. And do you know the dots? The candy dots? Most people don't know dots. We opened with dots.
Like they're like the chewy things.
Chewy
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
Well, they started, like, who's going to buy these? So we were going to get rid of them. And then it came back, where's the dots? Like,
Ugh,
people like
of
dots.
course.
They like dots.
Well, what else? Anything else? Anything big on the horizon? Anything you want to tell the people? I'm gonna edit this today, and I'm gonna try to get it out tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't have anything. Not yet. Not yet. It's going to be big, but it's not yet.
Cliffhanger.
I know. But just support what we do already.
What are you
Yeah.
doing for Sleigh Bell? Anything? During the parade? Anything?
No,
Nothing.
we usually close down right after free hot chocolate. And then at 7 o'clock, we're going to do Batman Returns.
That's a good one.
Yep. That's usually our rundown. We try to support what's going on. Like, we don't do the movies because that takes away from the vendors, and merchants, and things to do. Like, you don't want somebody cramped up in a place for 2 hours when you've done everything to try to get customers to come in and buy things
Right.
and see things. So we don't do the movies. We do it in the morning because that's a tradition, And then we do the 7 o'clock after all the festivities, and then they come in and just watch where you park. When I was
Yeah. How about don't park on River Street?
when I was chairperson for Sleigh Bell, that was probably the biggest thing we had to deal with. Our police force on that is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Because people park anywhere. And then all of a sudden they go down to the parade, they go down to the fireworks, and then they go 2 hours in the movies, and they blocked 4 people in. The worst thing that, when I was chair, I did not want anybody towed. Please be vigilant as to who's parking and where. Because that would be just a black eye.
Yeah.
All this good, and then that happened, So try to watch where you park. That's the only thing I ask, is watch where you park. And have fun. I mean, it's usually cold. Dress well. We sell beer and wine, takeout.
Yeah, hit up the Vogue.
Yeah, we sell beer and wine to take
It's a
out.
social district, folks.
Yep.
So
And if I sell a lot, it pays for next year's license. Then I can justify what we're doing. And then we have free hot chocolate. And that's almost 400 people.
yeah, that's insane.
That's-
You're a saint for doing that
No,
stuff.
it's
Jeez, Pete's.
400 people. 4th of July, we do free root beer floats. And to this day, there's still people that have never had a root beer float. We spiced it up now. We do orange float or root beer float. And we call it the orange sickle or the root beer. We do that every 4th of July. So some of the stuff, because we want to give back. We want to We don't want to keep take, gimme, gimme, gimme. It's if you give me, I will support you. If you support me, I will support this. And it works that way. Has been 10 years now.
I think that's a good place to stop. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. You did a great job.